Have you ever failed so badly that you wondered if God could still use you? Maybe you said something you can't take back. Maybe you walked away from your faith for a while. Or maybe you just feel empty, like you've been casting your nets all night and coming up with nothing. Now imagine this. After your greatest failure, Jesus doesn't show up to scold you. He shows up to make you breakfast. That's exactly what happens in John 21, 1 through 14. This story isn't just about fish. It's about forgiveness, restoration, and a Savior who still calls your name after the storm. Welcome to today's lesson, Breakfast with Jesus, a lesson in restoration and provision. Let's set the scene. It's after the resurrection. The disciples have seen the empty tomb. They've heard Jesus is alive, but they're still confused, still processing everything that's happened. Peter, the man who boldly said, "I'll never deny you," had done exactly that 3 times. Imagine the weight of that guilt, the shame, the doubt. So Peter does what many of us do when we're lost. He goes back to what's familiar. "I'm going fishing," he says. 7 disciples go with him. They fish all night, working hard, maybe even trying to distract themselves from the pain, but they catch nothing. It's a picture of spiritual burnout. Effort without direction, motion without meaning. Later, Jesus appeared again to the disciples beside the Sea of Galilee. This is how it happened. Several of the disciples were there: Simon Peter, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 other disciples. Simon Peter said, "I'm going fishing." "We'll come too," they all said. So they went out in the boat, but they caught nothing at all. Sometimes, even after encountering Jesus, we drift back into old patterns, old habits, old identities, old comforts. But here's the truth. Jesus doesn't let us stay here. He meets us right where our nets come up empty. At dawn, Jesus was standing on the beach, but the disciples couldn't see who he was. He called out, "Fellows, have you caught any fish?" "No," they replied. Then he said, "Throw out your net on the right-hand side of the boat, and you'll get some." So they did, and they couldn't haul in the net because there was so many fish in it. They'd been doing the right thing, just on the wrong side. Sometimes the difference between emptiness and abundance is one word of obedience. Jesus didn't give them a new skill. He gave them a new direction. And that's where the miracle happened. So let me ask you, where might Jesus be calling you to shift your net? Maybe you've been striving in your own strength, and he's inviting you to trust his word instead. Then the disciple Jesus loved said to Peter, "It's the Lord." When Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his tunic, for he had stripped for work, jumped into the water, and headed to shore. The others stayed with the boat and pulled the loaded net to the shore, for they were only about 100 yards from the shore. I love this part. Peter doesn't wait. He doesn't think about what he's done or how he's failed. The moment he knows it's Jesus, he jumps in. You see, shame says, "Stay back," but love says, "Go to him." Peter understood something. Jesus was his only hope for restoration. When they got there, they found breakfast waiting for them. Fish cooking over a charcoal fire and some bread. "Bring some of the fish you've just caught," Jesus said. So Simon Peter went aboard and dragged the net to the shore. There were 153 large fish, and yet the net hadn't torn. Don't miss this detail. A charcoal fire. The last time Peter stood near a charcoal fire, he denied Jesus 3 times. Now, standing before another fire, Jesus is rewriting the story. That's what grace does. It meets you in the same place you fell, not to condemn you, but to restore you. And notice, Jesus already had fish and bread cooking before they brought anything in. He didn't need their catch, but he invited them to add it anyway. That's a picture of partnership. Jesus doesn't need your contribution, but he wants it. He wants to share the work and the joy of provision with you. Now come and have some breakfast, Jesus said. None of the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" They knew it was the Lord. Then Jesus served them the bread and the fish. This was the 3rd time Jesus had appeared to his disciples since he had been raised from the dead. What a picture. Jesus, the risen King of glory, serving breakfast to his followers. He didn't appear with thunder and lightning. He appeared with love and food. He didn't come to demand an explanation. He came to offer restoration. When your life feels empty, when you feel you failed, when you've gone back to your old ways, Jesus doesn't shout from the shore in disappointment. He calls out, "Try again. Trust me. Come and eat." Maybe today he's calling you from the shore of your own frustration. Maybe you've been fishing in your strength, and he's saying, "Throw your net on the other side." Maybe you've been running in shame, and he's saying, "Come sit by the fire. I've already prepared what you need." Ask yourself, where is Jesus asking me to obey, even if it doesn't make sense? What empty nets am I still holding on to? And am I willing to come to the fire and let him restore me? Because here's the truth. Your failure isn't final when Jesus is on the shore. If this story spoke to you today, if you're ready to lay down your empty nets and meet Jesus at the fire, talk to him. He's not far away. He's waiting to restore you. And if this message encouraged your heart, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to know that Jesus still calls, still provides, and still restores. If you'd like to help reach others, we would love to partner with you on Patreon. When we pool our resources together, it helps us to cover the expenses of the ministry while touching the hearts of more people with the love of Christ. Remember, the same Savior who met Peter by the fire is calling you to breakfast this morning. Come to him. He's already prepared what you need. May you always find hope in the presence of Jesus.